So I just kind of break them up into the pan like that. I don't add any oil or anything. And I'm using the whole package. So it's 510 calories, which is like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But it's also 51 grams protein, which I need that protein to hit my macros. And then I just sprinkle on some of this Members Mark lemon pepper seasoning. It's really good and it's super affordable. I am not stingy at all with that seasoning because it really makes this even more delicious. Alright, so the dressing I'm going to be using is the Follow Your Heart Caesar dressing. I'm still trying to get through it. And I'm going to add in some of the BioLife shaved Parmesan just for fanciness. I don't really need it. I have it, so I'm trying to use it up. Alright, so I just added whatever lettuce needed to be used up in my fridge. There's a little bit of really crappy iceberg lettuce left, and some of the green lettuce. The green leaf lettuce was pretty good still. But this iceberg lettuce was pre-shredded. I typically don't like to get pre-shredded, but you know, it is what it is. I just put 2 tablespoons of the dressing on. I'm going to put some of that BioLife shaved Parmesan and some vegan croutons on top. Alright, I'm waiting to pick up my son. I've got my salad. I've got a sumo because I really, really love sumos. And since it's Friday, I've got a Diet Dr. Pepper. And while I'm waiting, I'm just listening to my book. I love reading. I don't have as much time to read, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. If you know, you know. It's so good. I'm going to go ahead and get my tofu marinade started. So I'm going to get all my little components out here. Alright, so these are the components I'm going to be using for the marinade. So basically what I do is I empty all of the vegetables into a bowl. The olives I'm going to have to slice. I found these and I decided I really wanted to try them because they're a smoked Kalamata olive, and I've never seen a smoked one. They're not pre-sliced, but they are pitted. So I'm going to have to slice them myself, but I just could not help myself. Yeah, so I've got capers, artichoke hearts, roasted red bell peppers, Kalamata olives, sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm going to remove all of the liquid from these, and the liquid is going to be used for the marinade for the tofu. To the marinade, I'm also going to be adding balsamic vinegar, probably about 2 tablespoons. Salt and other seasonings. I'm going to use oregano, dill, because I want to have some dill in this. I don't normally put dill in it. Thyme, and pepper. So I just sliced up the olives, and I must say, if I normally buy pre-sliced Kalamata olives, if these smoked olives are not worth it, I'm just gonna keep getting the sliced because it was just tedious. Part of the reason I like this recipe is it's a lot of just throw it in a bowl, mix it all together, and there you go. The only chopping I normally have to do is actually for the spinach, because I cut up the spinach before I put it in, but anyway, just had to vent. Alright, so I got all of the liquid out of those jars, and I added 4 tablespoons of capers to this. I didn't chop them up or anything, just added 4 tablespoons in here. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of balsamic, and then I'm going to add all of these ingredients. It should be relatively, I think I'm going to add some garlic powder too. I feel like garlic is such like a strong flavor. I don't know if I want to add the garlic. Yeah, I'm going to pass on the garlic just because I don't think I want it in this. But, and I know I love garlic, so it's weird, but now we're going to add in our seasonings. I'm going to add like roughly a teaspoon of all of these, maybe a little bit more of the salt, because I really want this tofu feta to be salty. So I added like a teaspoon of black pepper because I thought I added like a half a teaspoon because I figured a teaspoon would be just a bit too much. Alright, and there's our mixture. Oops. I'm going to mix it up with a fork, and then I'm going to put the tofu in it. So I want a crumbled tofu for this because the pasta is very small. But I'm going to keep it into chunks while it marinates and then crumble it when I'm ready to add it in. Alright, and we got all that tofu chunked up. I just tore it with my hands. And we've got it submerged in the marinade. And I'm just going to put this in the fridge, and it will sit there until I am ready to assemble. God, I can't even get this on here. Until I am ready to assemble the pasta salad. Got 2 bags of the Trader Joe's fire roasted bell peppers and onions. I'm going to throw both of these in the skillet. No oil, just throw them in as they are. Alright, we're going to sprinkle on a little bit of salt. Like that. Alright, while that was cooking, I just did a bunch of dishes. So I've got these 2 that I'm going to just throw in here, and I'm just going to put the seasoning in with it. That's like the sausagey seasoning. And then I'm going to put the 2 Light Life sausages in here as well and just cook it with the peppers. Now these do come pre-cubed, but I kind of find that redundant most of the time. Like for a sausage, like this is supposed to be a breakfast sausage flavored tofu, I just don't see the point in cubing it. I mean, I would just crumble it anyway. It's eventually going to just break down into crumbles anywho. That being said, the sausage seasoning they have for this is really nice. Like I said, I wouldn't buy those. I have tried them, but I wouldn't buy them unless they were marked down. So like having the seasoning is really helpful for somebody who doesn't know how to season tofu. It's basically, from what it smells like, just the same kind of sausage seasoning I use to flavor my TVP. So, alright, now we are going to add in our vegan sausage ground. Now is the fun part of trying to smush this all up. That's the problem with the Light Life sausage ground, I feel like, is it just is too congealed. It does come in like those little tubes, like an actual sausage. Just takes a little bit more elbow grease. Alright, now I'm going to add some more salt to this and some black pepper. Alright, now we're going to deal with the potatoes. So I'm going to start with 4, rinse them, scrub them really good, and then I'm going to chop them up relatively small, and I'm going to season them and pop them in the air fryer. And I'm only doing 4 potatoes at a time. That way my air fryer doesn't get too crowded, so they can get a little bit of crisp on them. Alright, so I am going to be using this seasoning for my potatoes. I really like the spicy, smoky, kind of different flavor on these. But you could always use whatever seasoning you want. And then I added in some salt. And I'm going to dump them in the air fryer, and I'm going to do a little bit of spray oil on these, but not very much. 450, 20 minutes. Gosh, my air fryer is dirty again. How does this always happen? So this sausage pepper mixture is basically done. I typically like to put this in a separate bowl and then do my tofu egg separately. I think I'm gonna do that. It doesn't really matter because it's all gonna end up together anyway. I like to keep the flavors separate, I guess. I don't know. They're all gonna get mixed together anyway, so I'm probably just gonna add it all in and then add in my egg seasoning, tofu egg seasoning. So I'm getting ready to crumble in 2 blocks of super firm tofu. Ooh, steamy. Alrighty, and now it's time for my homemade tofu egg seasoning. If you want to know the recipe for that, there is a recipe on my channel called Super Easy Vegan Tofu Egg Hack. Super Easy Tofu Egg Hack, I think is what it's called. And in there I show you how to make my seasoning blend. Now I'm just going to mix this all in. And just look at that. That looks so good already. So I'm going to turn the heat down to low, and I'm going to let a lot of this residual heat finish cooking that super firm tofu. Tofu doesn't really need cooked. I just want to give it a little bit. I really want to cook out as much moisture as I can. I really don't like my burritos to be soggy. So cook out as much moisture as you can, and then we're going to assemble the burritos. In preparing 4 more russet potatoes, normally for my breakfast burritos I actually use sweet potato, but I just could not pass up the deal on the 10-pound bag of russets. It's like $4.99, and I was like, easy. So I mean, either or. I would normally pick sweet potato because it's just more, it's got more nutrients in my opinion, but this will be fine. This will do. After about 25 minutes, they are perfectly crispy and lovely, and we are just going to dump these in a separate bowl, cook the next batch, and start assembling our burritos. I'm going to start assembling, so I grab a little bit, I would say like, I don't know, I would say maybe a fourth a cup of potatoes. I start with a base of potatoes, and then I just fill it with the mixture. Now, I do like to put spinach in these too, but I actually forgot to get spinach for it. That'll be fine. I have spinach in the fridge, but I actually got that spinach for my pasta salad, so that's what I'm going to be using it for. This will be fine. There's plenty of veggies in here as it is. Just more would be better. All right, so basically you want to be able to roll it. So fill it, but don't fill it too full. And then I'm going to squirt some sriracha in here, roll it up, wrap it in some foil, and boom, easy peasy freezer burrito. Voila, I have 14 freezer breakfast vegan burritos. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly because all the pepper. I was actually really lucky. So I did have to crack into another package of tortillas instead of just the 2. But one of my packages had 7 instead of 6. And I was like, oh, lucky me. That the burritos are done, I'm going to start prepping up the components for my meals this week. So I'm using this rice because I had it in the cabinet, needs used up. And these, so these just need heated up in a pan, and then I'll mix it in with the ground. And this is gonna be basically 5 dinners, and then I gotta chop up the lettuce and prep that. But the lettuce I won't do until tomorrow because I like to wait until the last day of the weekend to really prep up my greens. But I'm going to go ahead and cook this up, and I'm getting ready to eat my first meal of the day. I'm going to eat the leftover mac and cheese pizza that I didn't eat because that is the oldest thing that needs eaten first. There it is. It is almost noon right now, so this is my first meal of the day. I'm going to go ahead and eat this while my rice is cooking. After my rice is done, I'm going to heat up the beans and measure out the ground, the beans, the rice into individual portions for the taco salad. So hungry, so I'm going to eat this little bit of leftover spaghetti that was in the fridge and some of the Follow Your Heart vegan Parmesan. Finished prepping up the components for my taco salad. So there is like a half a cup of my vegan ground in each of these, and like a tablespoon of my homemade chipotle sauce. There's like, I don't even know. I split the can of beans in between 5 of them, so I don't know how many beans there is. If I was to guess, I'd say like around a fourth a cup. And then I split that packet of rice in between all 5 of them too. So I've got 5 of those ready to go. I'm gonna prep up our buffalo chicken salad that I'm doing for my breakfast. So I'm gonna take this whole thing of green onions. I'm gonna chop off the light green white bits and fry them in the pan. And then I'm gonna dice up some celery and add that to the pan as well. And all the nicer dark green ones, besides these ones that look really sad, I'm going to cut up and leave them raw and mix them in after. But yeah, we're gonna make this buffalo chicken salad sandwich topper, I guess. I'm gonna add oil to this. I'm actually just gonna water saute it. Alright, now I'm gonna cut up the celery. And this is how many celery I'm gonna be using. I'm using really like scrawny ones. And 7 of them. Went ahead and added the celery in. And we're just gonna let this cook for a little bit before we add in our chicken and our buffalo sauce. Alright, and now it's all nice and bright green. It's still got some firmness to it, so we're going to add in our chicken now. Alright, so it added a little bit more liquid. So I gotta cook that liquid down, and then I've just got to like slowly mush this up to get it more shredded, and then I'll add the buffalo sauce. Alright, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So all the liquid is almost cooked out. So I'm going to go ahead and add my buffalo sauce. I'm using the Primal Kitchen original buffalo sauce with avocado oil today. She is done, so we're going to turn the heat off, and she will thicken up even more as she cools. I might add more buffalo sauce when I go to eat it because I do like it quite spicy, but this is going, like, typically when you think of a chicken salad, it's cold. I don't like cold chicken salad, so I'm doing a warm buffalo chicken salad on toasted sourdough, like an open face sandwich. That's going to be my breakfast this week. Add the dark green onions. You can go ahead and add all of it, or you can reserve it and add it when you go to eat it. I'm just going to add it in because I can't be bothered to chop green onion the day I want to use it. Now this looks like a lot of green onion. That's because it is. But I actually really like a lot of green onion and a lot of celery in this. So I'm getting ready to have some bubble tea and my favorite wine. Alright guys, I have caffeine. This is just a standard iced coffee. It's the vanilla Javy with some unsweetened almond milk. I used the Skinny Girl Mixes Neon Leave Me Alone. I got the Skinny Girls French vanilla syrup. That's it. Easy peasy. I wanted to have matcha this morning, but I want to have a matcha cookie with my matcha for like a little treat. But I'm not hungry yet, so we're gonna just have coffee, and if I'm still feeling that, I'll have matcha later. So this is my sunroom. I have some different berry bushes out here. This one has not, this one has not seemed to come to life yet. Hopefully it does. This one is a fail. There were strawberry seeds, bushes, starters that I got from Lowe's, and as you can see, we got nothing. So, hello, little Mr. Hedgehog. Over here, we've got some different kinds of starters going on. This is all carrots. All carrots. These are just regular carrots, not rainbow carrots. Over here, we have different kinds of herbs that are getting big enough now. They definitely need watered. It looks like some of them got mixed up together in this one. My kids planted these. So it's a little crazy going on here, but you got parsley, basil, cilantro, and dill. And I have this guy right here that I got just for the herbs. So it is pretty good sized. I got this just for the herbs. It's got like a drainage system, which doesn't really care. I don't really care about that too much, but yeah, so I'm going to transplant all of the herbs into this guy here. I might do that today. And then down here, we've got red cabbage and beets. I'm going to check these guys and see if they are rooty enough that I can, oh my gosh, the cats and the dog, if they are rooty enough. Not really. I think that needs more time, honestly. Some of these did not grow, which, you know, if you know, you know, that happens. I'm going to put them in their own little pods, give them a little bit more space. But yeah, and I want them to be really well rooted before I transplant them into another pot, essentially. That's the goal anyway. We shall see. We shall see how that works out. Now, I do have a raised garden bed outside that I do plan to transplant my plants into. They're gonna need water today. I usually water them on Friday, so some of these are like, water me. But yeah, it's been a busy weekend, and I will water them. I'm gonna let my daughter help me do that because she loves watering the plants. But yeah, I have a raised garden bed out there already built. I've got another one right in here that needs to be built, that I will build when I'm ready to transplant these guys. It's just a big galvanized steel bed. I'll show you what it looks like outside. It is a chilly morning, but it's not too bad. That's why I've got my plants in the sunroom. So this is the raised garden bed that I have. There is some stuff growing in here, but these are probably just weeds. This guy right here is not a weed. This is an onion, by the looks of it. There are some random bits and bobs in here, like there's some little pieces of garlic right here. right there. There's like some random pumpkin seeds because we did grow a pumpkin last year. It actually did grow. I don't know, we're gonna see what's growing here, but this is definitely an onion. These might be just weeds. If you guys know, let me know. But interesting. But yeah, there's gonna be another one. I'll probably put it right next to it or down the ways. I don't know yet. So right over here, got my little pothos and a cute little cat. I've got a mixture of different succulents in my little dinosaur pot here. Up here I have a string of hearts. And then right next to that I have my string of pearls. We get a good view up here. On the island right here, we have my princess, my pink princess philodendron. She's okay here. I haven't found the best spot for her yet. She's getting sun. It's just, I don't know. I don't think she likes it very much. She is a princess after all. Then I have my Swiss cheese monstera right here. Beautiful. Up here I have my pepperoni plant. It's called something else. It's like pepper or something other. I just call it my pepperoni plant. He's up there. And then right below him is my pride and joy, my ficus. Pretty ficus. He's got a giant plant. I had to put stones on top of the soil because my cats kept wanting to dig into the soil, and I'm like, absolutely not. You're not messing with my ficus. So I had to put stones on it. And then last but not least, we've got the ivy. Now the ivy is doing the worst out of all of my plants. Like, it is dying. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it's just because it's not getting enough sunlight or what, but yeah, but that's my fault. Perhaps I placed it in a place that wasn't very good for it to grow and thrive, but my goal was to teach it to trail in here, but it's just not, it's not happy here. I'm assuming it's just because it's not getting enough sun, which is sad. So I was gonna make these for the kids to try. I got these a long time ago, and they say vegan. Vegan. This one is vegan. This one, if you look at the ingredients, what does that say right there? What does that say? Honey. So this has a honey powder blend made with cane sugar and honey. I'm offended. I'm offended at this company. Because yes, it says the plant-based meal kit, which plant-based does not necessarily mean vegan. But this clearly says vegan right there. Clearly. Sorry, I just had to vent. They're still going to eat these, hopefully. I don't know. They're like healthier, plant-based, like hamburger helper kind of meals. So I'm going to make these for them. I will start by making this one. See if they like it. And then I'm going to make this one, and I'll probably put some garlic knots with it because it's like a pasta. Hopefully they like it. We'll find out. I just got done with dishes. I'm going to go down and get laundry going. I'm going to start cooking the tricolor couscous before I do that. That way I can just get started for my pasta salad. And I have to drain and rinse these kidney beans for the pasta salad and just assemble everything, really. I actually prefer to cook my couscous in the rice cooker. I would recommend spraying this with oil or something to help it from sticking together. Personally, if you're trying not to do oil, you know, don't, I guess. But I don't use a whole lot of oil in my cooking unless I'm cooking for the family anyway. But we're doing 2 cups of tricolor couscous, pearl couscous, so we're going to want to put in 3 cups of water to this. Yes. And keep in mind, this is not a grain. This is a pasta, so you do want to salt your water. All right, and our tricolor couscous is done. It looks super perfect. Like, just perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dump that into my vegetable mixture. And I'm going to rinse and drain my kidney beans. And then we're gonna take our marinated tofu out of here, crumble it. And then if it needs any more flavor, I'm going to add some of the marinade. I was putting together my pasta salad and I'm like, something's missing. I'm like, duh, my spinach. Like, that's what's going to bulk out this meal and get some more greens in there. So yeah, I've got to chop all of this up and put it in there too. And that is a lot of spinach. And I've got a little bit left in here, the ones that are just too small or too ugly to put in here. I'm not going to waste these. I'm actually going to make a smoothie and put those in there. And look at how fresh and vibrant this looks. We've got the tricolor pearl couscous, kidney beans, tofu, artichoke hearts, Kalamata olives, roasted red bell peppers, sun-dried tomatoes. There's a little bit of capers in here that we have marinating in the tofu. A buttload of spinach. And this is like a lot of food. And this is supposed to be my lunch for the week. This is going to be more than 5 meals. It's probably going to be 7 meals. I'm also going to squeeze in the juice of a lemon to brighten it up. But it is already good as it is. It doesn't need any more of the marinade. So we can just discard this. And that's like all, basically our marinade was all of the liquid from the jars of the preserved things that we had, and some seasonings and some balsamic vinegar. That's it. So very flavorful, very good. It looks nice and moist, which is what we want. We want it to be nice and moist, nice and flavorful. Looks delightful. All right, so it actually made 7. So I was right on. I thought it was going to be about 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's roughly 535 calories a serving. These are 2-cup portions per serving and about 20 grams of protein, which is good. That's a good hearty lunch. This is great too, so that I can just take it and go. When I have to go pick up my son, I can just take it and be good. I love that. No assembly required. I did find these on Walmart.com and I had to get them to try the Daiya Urban Garlic Mac and Cheese. And they're like cute little leaves. I thought that was so cute. All right, and that one head of lettuce gives me 2 of these containers worth, which is basically 2 salads. So I'm gonna need either one more big head of iceberg lettuce or 2 smaller heads of iceberg lettuce to get enough to last me for the whole week. All right, I'm having my first meal now that it's almost 1:30. I know this looks like a lot, but it's only like 500 calories, maybe 600. Each one of these, including the bun, is only 100 calories. And then this is like 200, 300 in between there. This is the leftovers that were in the fridge that I needed to eat. So hooray, they're gone. I'm going to taste test these guys for dessert. I'm just going to take a bite out of each one of these. So I've tried the Bear Bells hazelnut and I really didn't care for it. So I got these 3 to try. Hopefully they're better.